as you guys have progressed your business and you're probably getting requests from customers on, can you do emails for me? Can you do text? Can you present something on the web? What kinds of things have you done to support those demands? Like, how have you dealt with it? Is there something you want to share that's either been like a challenge for you or a new service that you got into and you said, oh wow, that's not really what we thought it would turn out to be? Something like that you could share with the audience?
Our initial experience with digital channels was just simply providing, this was years ago, but simply providing a PDF image of the correspondence that we were printing for our clients back to them so that they could archive that image in their internal archiving system and sometimes customer-facing portals. And then we also dabbled in some email marketing campaigns and banner ads using a vendor partner as a reseller. And then eventually we added email delivery for transactional print. So our clients can specify print or email delivery, at the record level, and then we execute that delivery method.
I
So
see. Okay.
that's been very well received by our clients.
It has. Okay. And when you got into that, um, was it like a smooth transition? Like, what was the first thing you did? Did you knock on vendors' doors and say, "Hey, do you have this kind of service?" Or did you thought about doing it in-house? Or
Yeah, so we were kind of and this is we were talking to our clients about what they were interested in. We were seeing opportunities out there, and so we did a lot of research. We talked to a lot of vendors, and there were a lot of platforms. And over the years, and even more so now, but there are a lot of companies that have expertise in this area. So we did a lot of research, and then ended up partnering with Rakami to add that service to our service offerings.
Yeah, sure. I will say this, that there's no one solution that is going to do it for everybody across the board. So, and I know everybody in the industry knows this. It depends on the industry, it depends on who they're trying to target, but there's so many variables that are involved in how to reach the goal that a specific client is trying to reach, that you need to make sure you start out with a list of questions. What are they trying to accomplish? Is it, um, a finance company that is trying to drive to an event, a meeting event? Is it somebody that's trying to drive foot traffic into a retail location? It just so depends. So, like, the journey is different for every type of industry and every type of company out there. And sometimes people find that super challenging. We find it really exciting because no day is ever the same here at Kessler. And I think there's probably quite a few companies out there like us, but that's the thing, is that you're never going to have an answer that's the same for all your companies across the board.
yeah, I was gonna say, as a
Yeah.
service provider, then, because you span so many industries, how do you deal with that, like maybe from a technology perspective, or so that you can serve that variety of customers, but not go crazy with all kinds of different things have you been able to centralize the tool set?
So to some extent, so there are certain, like, we were on one platform for 2 years that we used, that had, all the digital components that went along with the hard mail, and it would enhance, and so say it had text message marketing in it, email marketing, retargeting. Again, like, not every client wanted to touch all of those, right? So this client might have wanted to only focus on text message marketing, while this client only wanted to focus on the email campaign, the drop before and the drop after, based on when the direct mail hit. So with that kind of with that kind of client, it's not a platform based, like, where they can log in. They usually don't care. They don't have time to log in anyway. They want us to send us what they need. But we can do email marketing, not through a platform, but through like a source that we use. We can time it based right. We can also add in like retargeting, ads through a different vendor, that kind of thing. So, but maybe they're not getting it all in one platform, but we're still able to target and do what they need as an attachment to their direct mail. And of course, the results are, we're seeing an uptick no matter what, from just mail to that. But we have a platform we've been looking at and very much interested. price point seems to be a little more reasonable for the client. But it's another one that offers all kinds of things, right? All kinds of digital components to mail. And it's a platform based where somebody can log in and see, but you got to have the right customer for that.
Yeah, I see. So you've been talking about a platform, which is interesting. So rather than like having your own tool that maybe you build that you connect to an email system or a texting system or ad buys or whatever, you've chosen to go with like a platform where it's sort of all in one, and you could manage the sophistication within the platform itself. So if you were to distill it down, what are some of the like key important elements to be successful in this communication of offline and online, and how to tie those things together? And it could be anything from technology or workflows or the concepts that you want to share.
Yeah, I think I'll start with the concept. I mean, really important distinction when you think about digital advertising, which is very appealing because of all the metrics and measurement you get compared to something like direct mail. I think you have to think about it that marketing is really directly communicating with known audiences. So you have a direct communication with someone like a mailing list, whereas advertising is indirectly communicating with unknown audiences. You're basically marketing to people through basically proxies like cookies and devices on walled gardens like Facebook, Amazon, and so forth. And so that's an important distinction. Even though the appeal that digital has all the measurement, you actually can get better measurement when you're marketing to people because you can do things like holdouts and measure lift over control and get at things like incrementality, which is difficult on digital.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, that's an important distinction to make, that the direct sort of marketing to people and then the advertising that is more obscure, right? Because you don't know how to respond to that. So if somebody was just starting to get their feet wet, a commercial printer, what direction would you lean them towards? Would it be like, is it easier to get into the advertising versus direct marketing, or is one sort of easier to get into than the other?
Well, if you're already into print, there's kind of two paths. You can either say, I'll take my print, like a direct mail piece in a catalog, and I'll find ways to connect to digital, or I can think about doing concurrent digital, like in parallel, like email or advertising on Facebook. And so when you think about connecting to digital, there's actually over 25 ways now to connect a printed postcard to online. And for example, we all have seen QR codes, right? A QR code is basically a shortcut. It's a bookmark for a URL, if you will, that your camera on your phone recognizes, and it connects us online. But we all know that there's many other ways, right? We can text in things. We certainly can make phone calls. We can, talk. There's usually speech-enabled devices, and so all the direct mail pieces can use call to actions to get people to type URLs, text things, scan QR codes. And so connecting from offline to online is certainly one way to get started in bridging the two.
I see. So if you're a printer, you want to have printed pieces that drive people to the other channels, either through QR code or a URL that's listed or something like that on the piece. Yeah,
it's one way to get started, and people have been doing that for a while, like the evolution, right? We started off with 1-800 numbers as a direct response vehicle, then website URLs, and now we have QR codes and other technologies.